Hey everyone, and welcome to another installment of Tom's World. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the immediate future plans for the garden, meaning phase 1 of the planting. So let's get in there and check it out. So now actually, before we go in the garden, I want to point this out, that they have cleared off the entire hill where the barn used to be, and they actually have new trees planted there. So that's pretty cool, actually. So now you can actually see what was behind all these bushes and trees that were here. I mean, it's not much to look at, but still, it's cool now that this is all open, and we have new trees planted. Don't know what they are, but there's 4 new ones there. And I guess we'll see what they do with it after that. I do know that they put grass seed down not that long ago, and you can see there's a bunch of I guess it's hay, straw of some kind. Anyway, let's get in the garden. So this is kind of weird. It looks like the grass of the chessboard is not as long as it was the last time I was here, yet they have not mowed any of the grass here. This kind of leads me to believe that maybe my fellow volunteers might have cut the grass here while they were here on Sunday. It's possible. I was here with them, but I didn't stay long. I just wanted to give them an update on what's going on as far as the plants that we have to purchase. Now, to show you the different areas where I believe we should concentrate the planting on for now, because this is just going to be the first wave, mind you. So the first wave is going to be flowers only. Anywhere pretty much that you see mulch is going to be where we're going to want to plant flowers, and we're going to want to make it look nice, like structured, you know what I mean? Not just, you know, willy-nilly or whatever phrase you want to use. Try to make it look like somebody actually planned the stuff out. So, I mean, here's another big area that we have. It's got a nice big rock in the middle for ambiance. There are some plants growing in these. Some hostas randomly placed around, which I may see if it's possible that we can move some of the hostas. So maybe they're all in one area or something. Because you can see here we have a couple of little sprouts of hostas starting. And over here in the middle, well, you can see they're all coming up. I mean, this thing is covered in hostas. And I mean, they're pretty, don't get me wrong, but this is like the centerpiece of the garden. And I want it to be more than just green. I would like to see different colors in here. Something that draws your attention directly to the middle. Something eye-catching. We have this area here. I might see, because this bush here that's growing, it's not real pleasing to the eye. So I might see if it's possible that they'll allow us to remove this and just use this area here to plant more flowers. The goal, of course, is to not get in the way of anywhere where they'll be using the riding mower. So like around the trees, which the trees are now starting to turn green. As you can see, the little blossoms of pink are going away here and turning into leaves. This big one here has not started that process yet. It's very pretty when it's in this stage, though. We got the little tree over by the cold frame starting to bloom with greenery. But of course, the cold frame is another place that I would like to plant things and have like a structure, you know, like a color scheme, something that makes it look like it was actually planned out instead of just things thrown in there and growing. Now, the one thing that we have planted here is this plant, and I'm trying to remember what it's called. Yeah, I cannot remember. But one of the volunteers had planted this in memory of their brother who had passed away. and it has gotten considerably bigger. And last year this was only about maybe an inch tall, not even, like half an inch. So it took, and that's really, really cool. We have some little weeds growing up in here. What I'd like to do before we plant is I'd like to get like a hand tiller and just till this up a little bit, you know, make the soil a little looser, mix in the dead leaves and all that. And we have another area here that has mulch, and it's got a couple of little stepping stones in it, like slate. I would like to be able to fill this with some flowers over here, over by that tree, and of course the old reflecting pool. I don't know if we'll get to that in round one. I will try. But what I would like to do with this, and I've mentioned it many times before, is firstly I'd like to remove a lot of this dirt and put some better soil in there. We have plenty of really, really good soil over there where the mansion was. It's really soft, and it seems to be ideal for planting things. I would like to take some of this dirt out, put some of that in, till it, and then put some very, very low growing light blue flowers in there. That way it almost simulates the water that was in there of the reflecting pool. Just kind of give homage to the Logans in that way. And maybe if we have flowers left over, though I don't know, people may try to ruin this, but inside the fountain here you can see the partitions on either side. I would like to plant, like put some soil in there and plant some things that don't need a lot of room for the roots, but that will be hardy enough to self-sustain, you know, so like it's low maintenance. And then that's another key for a lot of the flowers and plants that we want in here. We want them to be as low maintenance as possible. Now, me and the other volunteers, it's going to be up to us to maintain that garden, the flowers, the shrubs, the bushes, everything, once we get it all in here. So it's not that it won't be attended to, but the lower maintenance it is, the easier it will be for everybody. So that's the plans for the garden. Now, today is Tuesday, and I plan on tomorrow going to a place over in New Hope that does specialize in native plant life, and seeing what we can get, and then you know, like go over with them like what plants that they have on a normal basis, so that in like a week or two, if we went back, they will have those plants. Make a list of it, and then I have to run it by the office of the park, and they have to approve it. Now, as long as they're native and non-invasive, they should be able to approve it. Then they want to know where we're going to be planting everything, so I could just let them know, you know, the same thing I showed you all, that wherever you see mulch, that's where we want to plant. And then that way I don't have to drag the maintenance guy all the way out here just to show him that. Well, plus, and the cold frame as well. Then once we get all those in, maybe I'll be able to do a little in-person meet and greet fundraiser where I will be here personally throughout the day. You know, the other volunteers, whoever can be here will be here, so that somebody can take physical donations in person, and everything we get will go right back to this garden. Not a penny will be spent on anyone or anything else. And you know, we could give like little personal tours and show everybody where everything was, you know, where the mansion was, where the carriage house and the greenhouse were, the barn slash garage, like everything. And maybe give a little bit of history for anybody that wants to know. So that last part of the video was on Tuesday, and today is Thursday. I originally wanted to go out yesterday to look at the plants. However, it was very windy, very rainy, so I kind of put it off until today. So today I did go out to New Hope, and I went to Bowman's Hill Wildflower Preservation, I believe it's called. Huge area of land where you can just walk around and check out the cool sites and the plants, the wild native plants that grow all over the place. but they also do sell native, non-invasive plants. So I went to look at what they had. They didn't have too much inventory out there. I took some pictures of it. I might use some of them for in the garden here, but not 100% sure. I mean, their stock constantly is rotating, so from one week to the next you may not see the same thing there. So I don't know if we're going to use them at all, or we're definitely not going to use them 100%, because also a lot of the stuff that they had there wasn't very showy in the way of plants. There were some that were really pretty, but they only bloom at certain times. And I really would like to get stuff in here that's going to be blooming throughout the spring and into the summer. And you can see my gimbal just had a mind of its own. It kind of turned. I'm not moving at all. Anyway, so I have checked out another, or I tried to check out another place called Gino's Nursery, and I put it in my GPS, and it wasn't too far from Bowman's Hill. But when I got to where my GPS told me it was a municipal building. Can't talk today, much like every other day. So I never found Gino's Nursery, and I'm sure there's going to be people saying that it was like right there and I just drove by it. But at that point I was kind of frustrated. But I do know that there's some more local places like that aren't out in New Hope, but I'm going to be looking into them tonight, as well as editing this video. So hopefully by the next video I'll have a solid place locked and we'll be able to start purchasing. But there's no real rush, I mean, to buy the plants right now, because today it's actually pretty cold out, and with the weather and the temperatures going up and down the way that they are, I don't know that that would be good for newly planted flowers and plants, because they're already going to be going through the shock of being transported from being in the ground to being in a pot to being in another piece of ground. And so I'd want the temperatures to be a little more stable. So I mean, we'll see what the next day or two produces. Hopefully by the time I see the volunteers this Sunday, I'll be able to say, yeah, we're definitely going to go to this place, and we can also go to this place and that place. But I want to find like a main place to get the bulk of them at, because I do want to get them in as soon as I can and as soon as the temperatures permit. Now, since my last time here on Tuesday, I had made mention that that the squares looked like they had been taken care of as far as being cut, but the rest of the lawn, if you want to call it that, was not. But since then they have obviously mowed in here, and gotta tell you, it looks great. I mean, I all winter it's been like covered in snow and all kinds of other stuff, and now it's finally starting to look like it did when I first came in here. Well, outside of the fact that all the paths are now revealed, and you can see the hostas are still growing healthy. As far as I know, these things have been here since the 80s, and they just keep coming back. But that's what hostas do. You could totally ruin them, take them down to just nubs, and then they'll grow back. There are some daffodils over here that look like they're pretty open, so we'll go check them out. Now, I'm fairly certain, maybe I'm wrong, that daffodils are not native, and it just makes me wonder if somebody went along the river and just various places and planted them. I mean, they had to be put here, I would think. They're a little droopy, but then again, like I said, it is pretty cold out right now. If I have my hoodie on and the sleeves are not pushed up, you know, it's pretty cold, and the sleeves are not pushed up. Hopefully we will find something in the next few days, a solid place that we can get the bulk of the plant life from. And I see that they didn't mow here. I guess that's gonna have to be up to us to do like weed whacking or something. I don't blame them for not riding the mower in and out of here though. For a long time there was a lot of thick branches and rocks and stuff. We took care of most of that. I can see that there are still some bricks and stuff in here, so I guess I understand why they didn't take care of that. But we will. Most definitely. You can see some of the other daffodils that are like wilting. Well, the flowers anyway. All due to the crazy weather. But it's crazy every year, right? When I first came in here today, I did the same thing I always do. I stop at the pond first just to see if any of the little frogs or toads are out. But I'm guessing due to the cold, they're not. I have seen a couple of them just chilling on the rocks a couple of the times I've come here in the last 2 or 3 weeks or so. But I guess they're just hanging out underneath. I find myself trying to imagine what this is going to look like, although it's hard to do since we don't know exactly what we're going to be able to plant in here. But my hope is that this will be like the shining piece in the collection here, because it's the biggest area of land that it's going to have the flowers and stuff in it. So, and I did remember what that plant was called over here. I believe it's called a red cardinal flower, or just maybe a cardinal flower, something like that. I'm just glad to see that it definitely took. And I know that's going to make that volunteer happy. Anyway, I think I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to go home and start editing this video. I have some other stuff to do, so I guess I will see you all in the next one. And oh, I almost forgot. Make sure that you check out the link for the fundraiser down in the description. Click on that link, and if you can't give anything, then please share out the link. But if you can, anything you could give would be great. $1, $2, $10, whatever. Every bit helps. So with that being said, I will be making my way out of here. I will see you all in the next one. Make sure you stay safe, stay healthy, and take care.